In this video we're going to make a Christmas tree. I do have a few different versions of the Christmas tree, and this one we're going to use a polystyrene cone for the middle, so it's going to be a little bit bigger than the other trees we've made, but it's not going to be as heavy. And what we're going to do is we're going to decorate it with fondant, and then we'll do a bit of brush embroidery over the top. So I've got some brown here. Now this is my modelling and flower paste that I've got for the tree trunk. For the rest of the tree, I've just got normal fondant that I've dyed green. What I'll do is I'll put some links below in the information box as to where I bought the various different bits and pieces from, so you can go online and find them yourselves as well. So taking the brown, we're just gonna roll it and start to flatten it a little bit, and I'm just gonna roll it on its side. If you prefer it to look less sort of handmade, because you want a bit neater edges, you can always use a round cutter instead rather than doing it freehand. And you're just gonna put your cone on top to see if you like the height of it. Okay, if you're happy with the height, you don't want to make it too thin this way. If it's too narrow, you find your tree will topple, so you want to keep it reasonably wide. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of water on top of that so that it will stick to my polystyrene. Because it's not edible, I'm gonna put a cocktail stick in as well, just to doubly make sure that it stays up. So we're going to put that into there, and then looking for the centre, I'm going to push that into the centre as well, just making sure it stays upright. Right, so that's on there like so. Just gives us a bit of a base. Okay, now we're going to work on the green. So we're going to take our green fondant and we're just going to roll it out. So I'm going to roll it into a bit of a sausage shape first, as we're going to cut it using this frilly edge cutter. Again, I'll put a link below in the description box as to where you can get these from. You can get them in all different patterns. So I'll roll this out a little bit thicker or wider, and then I'm going to roll it so it's nice and long. It just needs to be long enough to wrap around the bottom of your tree. So I'll just check. So that's plenty long enough. In fact, that's much longer than we actually need it to be. I'm not going to roll it too thick. And then what I'm going to do, just make sure you can see, is using this, I'm going to push it into my fondant, and then I'm going to pull it that way so that my scruffier edges end up at that side. And then I'll lift that off, and we're left with a nice patterned edge. If you're not sure that's long enough, just put a bit more patterning on. So just follow it along on what you've just done. That should be plenty long enough, I think. Obviously you can measure out around the circumference of the tree if you want to be a bit more accurate with the length. Okay, I've got a little bit more icing than I need on this edge, so I'm going to trim it down a little bit up here, like so. And what I'm going to do is just wet this edge using a bit of water. Again, you can use edible glue if you prefer to use edible glue, that's fine. I'm not going to put it on the curved bits, as they're going to come lower than the bottom of my polystyrene cone, so they don't need to have water on them. Okay, so I'll just tip this over so you can see. Oh, it doesn't want to tip over. So this is now going to go on the edge, and you want it so that these curves come further over the edge so that you can't see the white bit of polystyrene. So you'll probably find that you won't see, so I'll just pull that off there, push it in like that. And what I'll do is try and keep the seam to a similar place at the back all the time so that we can keep it hidden at the back, but we'll neaten them off when we put more layers on the tree anyway. So that's your first layer. What we're going to do is just repeat the same thing again and again, and we're going to keep going up, but each time, rather than putting them directly above each other, this curve will go in the middle. So I'll do one more to show you. When I put these on, I'm putting them in between the other ones, like so. I'll just trim it off the back, and you're going to just keep doing that until we reach the top of the tree. Okay, so I've made it to the top of the tree and I've just pinched it in there, and for the last one I've just cut it shorter and cut it at an angle. I'm just going to put some water on the back. It might be that I need to cut it down actually as well. Yeah, so we put that on there. What I'll do is just cut a little bit off the top. And I'm just going to place this on here. Wrapping it round and just pinching it too at the top. No, I don't know how well you can see it, sorry. So I'm just pinching it round until you bring it up to the point at the top of the tree. And what we'll do is let it dry for a couple of hours, and then once it's had a couple of hours we'll paint like a bit of a snow effect on, but we'll do a bit of brush embroidery to create the effect. So I've got a piping bag with some royal icing made up inside, and I've got a number 2 nozzle. If you can let your tree sit a bit longer than I have done, then please do. Mine's still a little bit soft. So what I'm going to do is starting to squeeze my icing. It might be a little bit runnier than what I need. Just on one bit of the tree at a time. And in this video I'm going to use a flat brush rather than a rounded one like we do in the other brush embroidery ones. And we're just going to pull it up. Like that. I think my icing might be a little bit thin, so I might go make some more icing. Try it a little bit thicker. With the royal icing I tend to just buy it in the box in powder form. And then I just usually follow the instructions on the back of the pack with what consistency to make it. So it's a little bit thicker now this time. So we're going to go just over one bit at a time. If you want a thicker line, just go over it again. Depends how much snow you want it to look like there is on the bottom of each branch. You probably find if you do it that way, you get a smoother line. If you do it this way, your line becomes more obvious. So just whichever way you think looks best. And we're going to keep doing that on all of them. You're best working from the bottom up to the top, I would say. So if you want to use a thicker nozzle on the end than I have done, that'd be fine. I've used a number 2. So I'll do that all the way up to the top now. Okay, so I've gone all the way around with my piping and my brush strokes all the way up. I do have more videos on brush embroidery if you would like to see those, and I don't know how well you can see the tree, so I'll put another picture of it up so you can see. Of course you can decorate it with Christmas decorations and things if you like as well to make it look a bit more Christmassy. Thank you for watching.
If you liked this video and would like to see more, please click on the images of the other videos suggested. Also, please do subscribe to my channel using the button at the bottom right hand corner of the screen. You can also visit my cake website and my Facebook page to see more cakes and ideas.